Another year, another mind-numbingly boring EA press conference, with every other publisher slowly starting to realize that they need to step up their game. EA somehow never fails to exceed your expectations in the worst possible way. Starting with a needless one-and-done AR segment, seriously, why the fuck was that there? To acting like you should be excited to pay for something that you should already have for free, and even making the most exciting game of their entire show seem boring. Let's talk about some of the terrible and not so terrible parts of the conference. I've already mentioned the AR and how fucking pointless that was. Seriously, why the fuck was that there? So let's move on to the next thing. Andrea Renee. I actually thought she did a pretty good job. She was always very professional, moved the show on pretty swiftly. I think she did the best with what she had. Oh, and Battlefield 5's got a Battle Royale mode. Yeah, and I shit blood. What else is new? I'm not a massive fan of Battlefield anymore, especially since the Bad Company days, but this one looked kinda cool, I guess. I liked how agile the characters seemed. You can dive, roll, climb through windows, shoot at pretty much any time in any position. The destruction looks like it's back in a big way as well, although I didn't know that it ever left, so let me know if I'm wrong on that one. There's also no loot boxes and no premium passes, which is good. However, I hate the way they announce these things. They act like Battlefront 2 didn't also come from the same studio. Yeah, you guys remember that money-grabbing piece of shit we put out last year? Yeah, well, we're not gonna do that again because we're better people now. And then they hold for applause like they deserve some kind of reward. You haven't done a good thing, you've just decided not to do a shitty thing. Yet again. Oh, and it's also got skis, I guess. Next was FIFA 19, and now it's got the Champions League in it. Oh, who cares? Seriously, who cares? It's just another tournament, just like the World Cup. How can you act like it's a privilege to play a slightly different kind of tournament? Now, I'm not trying to diminish the World Cup and the Champions League. I get they're big things to a lot of people. I'm talking about from a gameplay and development perspective. It's still the same gameplay mechanics, and they've just changed the teams and the order in which you play against them. And they want to charge you for that. And they want you to be happy about it. What a joke. If you like FIFA, that's all good, man. I'm happy for you, you do you. But you should not let EA get away with this kind of crap. Then Andrew Wilson came out to talk about investing in streaming, and this is very interesting and a telling state of the times that we're in. It's also far too large of a conversation to have in this video, so you can look forward to another video on that pretty soon. Next we had good old Vince talk about Respawn's Star Wars game. It's called Jedi Fallen Order. It's set between episodes 3 and 4 and is scheduled to release holiday of 2019. Not a fucking chance. You didn't even have some key art to show of the game and you expect me to believe it's coming out holiday of 2019. Anthem was revealed last year and it's not coming out until early 2019. I know they're different developers, so I know there's different time frames in play, but it just seems like an absolutely ridiculous statement to me. Also, it's narrative based. Why is this one allowed, but Visceral gets shut down for their one? God, I hate this company! Battlefront 2 had a small presence. This poor dude had to come out and talk about it. The funny thing is though, there wasn't any kind of an apology. Just we know we fucked up and we're gonna be better. Yeah, fuck off, pal. How many times do you think we're gonna fall for that bullshit? People are wise to your game now. You need to seriously switch up things if you're gonna have any sort of a player base. There was also 2 new indie games that were shown off, Unravel 2 and Sea of Solitude. I never played Unravel, but I most definitely see the appeal, and I think Sea of Solitude looks absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to get my hands on that game. We also heard that Haze Light Studios, the guys and gals that made A Way Out, are moving into a new studio and expanding. That's some pretty good news. Nice one, Mr. Fares. I'm happy for you. Then there was some next level cringe for like 20 minutes. They had this kid come on and talk about how he's some kind of legend in Madden. Now look, I don't know this kid. I've never seen him play. I've never hung out with him. Nothing. But I'm getting a bit of a cunty vibe. After that, we got the most boring and backhanded way of announcing a new game in an incredibly popular franchise that I've ever seen. Command & Conquer Rivals. Now, I don't care for Command & Conquer, but it has a long history and a lot of people love that series. So why the fuck did you think it was necessary to shoutcast over it, turn everyone off of it, and then at the end of the incredibly long and unnecessary piece of gameplay, you announced that it's actually a Command & Conquer game? Do you have milk with your bowl of crack in the morning? Who in the fuck is in charge of marketing over there? They should be fucking fired. How can you allow shit like this to get through the cutting room? There was then a brief mention from Andrew Wilson about some charity work, which was pretty nice, even if it is a blatant PR move to cover some of the more horrendous shit that they've done over the years. Charity is charity, and I've got to respect that. And to close the show, we got a pretty cool trailer for Anthem, and might I add that it had a rather dope remix of Uprising by Muse. But then they got to get the developers out to talk about it. Why don't they just try the show and don't tell approach for once? It works so well for everyone else. For some ridiculous reason, they feel the need to ruin every single thing at their conference. After that trailer, I was really excited for Anthem, and I don't even like those kinds of games. And now, after the dev talk, I'm kinda like, well, okay, you say there's story, but is there actually story in it? Because so far, it just looks like a bunch of random bullshit quests. You actually made me reconsider buying it. Oh, and there was no sign of Skate 4 anywhere. Why did you turn the servers for Skate 3 back on last week, the week before E3? The fuck is going on?